I just saw someone say if marriage was good for women, they would have taken it away from us. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't do it.
It's curious to hear a woman say that marriage doesn't benefit women, when at the same time statistics show that today there are more women living in poverty than there were 30 years ago. This is due to the number of single women. Apparently, staying alone didn't turn them into successful entrepreneurs, but instead left them in mediocre jobs, and worse, without children or a husband. Like in today's video, we'll see several women complaining about marriage, even though all of them are either divorced or in the denial stage after 35, hitting the wall. If you want more content like this, help us reach 200,000 subscribers and leave your comment with your opinion. Now, let's get started.
Single and child-free women are the glitch in patriarchy. For thousands of years, patriarchy has thrived on women's unpaid labor and sacrifice, and the smallest unit of that exploitation is marriage institution. One thing many people may not have realized is that women have absorbed too much of men's emotional negativity. When men are criticized by other rich, powerful men outside, do you think they have the courage to challenge them? No, so when they come back home, they have to take all the frustrations onto their wife, or even worse, their kids, so they can remain stable and productive, going back to work the next day, keep serving the capitalist machine. Meanwhile, women's emotional well-beings have been sacrificed by the system. And for two, women are still doing majority of the unpaid labor at home. If we actually pay women what they do, it's gonna be one of the biggest economies in the world, just below China's. But that's gonna cost the society a lot of money. They're not gonna do that. Instead, they have to brainwash women, oh, that's your natural role. Because women handle everything at home for free, so men can focus entirely on their career and making money. Women sacrifice our time, body, energy, and in the end, we got nothing in return. And number 3, this is the most important one. Being single and child-free makes you less controllable and governable. Having children gives you a weak spot. You might have to tolerate a lot of bullshit for them, for their education, the school, stability. But as a single child-free woman, I don't have to play the rules. I can live on my own terms. The social constraints on me are much less. That's why even the happily married women are telling young women to not get married. Because marriage benefits men more than it benefits women.
I have 3 things to tell you, but let's start with the first. In the name of the patriarchy, we don't give a damn what you do with your life. Believe me, if you move to another country, we still won't give a damn. We won't even notice. Second, with new technology, housework is becoming automated by machines. When domestic robots hit the market, I'd like to see what your excuse will be then. And third, marriage is a contract where the woman receives financial benefits for being in it, while the man does not. On top of that, you're living in a house where you have to do everything, which would be the same if you were married. The difference is that the man has to provide for you so you can do it. It's not really free. You just like to benefit from everything you do for a man. Something that doesn't apply to you because you've hit the wall. The wall doesn't forgive.
As a divorce lawyer, I can tell you that you should not marry for love. If you choose to marry for both love and money. Being poor can destroy love faster than infidelity ever will. I watch relationships crumble every day because people thought romance alone could pay the bill. One of the dividends of a good marriage is financial stability. Love feels magical until rent is due. Love feels deep until debt enters the chat. Love feels eternal until someone can't carry their weight and the other person is forced to become the emotional, financial, and logistical backbone of the entire household. Nothing kills chemistry faster than constant stress. Women are taught to prioritize love above all else, and men are taught to prioritize stability. And that mismatch is why so many women end up resentful and exhausted, while men end up shocked that the relationship collapsed. He thought love was enough, and she thought love would be the reward after the hard work. Neither realized that without financial security, both of them would slowly suffocate in the same room. I see women walk into my office saying, "But we loved each other." And yes, they did, but love doesn't stretch a paycheck. Love doesn't magically fix a partner who refuses to work. Love doesn't turn a financially reckless man into a stable one. And love definitely doesn't replace a retirement account. Marriage is not just a romance, it's a business partnership. Two people joining finances, debts, assets, responsibility. If one partner is irresponsible, the entire household suffers. If one partner can't manage money, the other becomes the default manager. And when one person carries everything, love turns into labor. People hate hearing this, but it's true. Money supports love. When you have stability, you can focus on building a life together instead of fighting to survive. Love is essential, but it's not enough. Look at how he spends. Look at whether he saves. Look at how he treats obligations. Look at how he behaves under pressure, because the man who is careless with money will eventually become careless with you. Marry for love, but also marry for financial intelligence as well, because you deserve a partnership that feels like freedom and not a rescue mission. If someone tells you that marrying for both love and money is shallow, just remember, the people who say that usually have neither.
Personally, I don't like listening to advice from people who profit from your misery. Now, she's partly right in saying that marriage is a business contract and that love brings us together, but hunger pulls us apart. I have to say, times have changed. Back then, a woman was considered worth it because she entered marriage as a virgin, the marriage lasted over time, and it could offer long-term stability. But today, marriage has turned into a business. A marriage is lucky if it makes it past 5 years, and a divorce can leave you bankrupt. What am I telling you with this? Look for a woman who also contributes financially, who helps you move forward, not just a pretty face. She has to bring something to the table too, because being the provider for a woman is no longer appreciated. In the end, you spend years building a life, only for an ungrateful woman to tell you she never asked for anything you did for her, yet still walk away with half your money in the divorce. Even worse, she might have you paying alimony to someone who could go out and get a job. So watch out for that.
The worst thing a woman can do, statistically speaking, is to get married to a man. Married women do not live as long as single women. They do not earn as much money as single women. They are not as happy as single women. They are more likely to suffer from addiction than single women. They are more likely to commit suicide than single women. They are more likely to die of homicide than single women. Married men, on the other hand, married to women, outperform single men by such a measure that it is perhaps the healthiest thing that a man can do is to get a woman to marry him. Those imbalances are exactly equal, meaning the percentage of herself that a woman gives to a man, she loses and he gains. So she's literally giving her life to him.
Fuck up, you crazy bitch whore!
Let's put this into context with real data, because this is where a lot of narratives fall apart. Longitudinal studies in the United States, such as those conducted by the University of Michigan in collaboration with the National Institute on Aging, have followed more than 20,000 people over decades, analyzing their health, finances, and family structure. The result? A pretty clear pattern. Married individuals, especially between the ages of 50 and 70, tend to have greater financial stability and accumulate more wealth than those who remain single or end up divorced. The same trend appears in health. Large population studies show that married women, on average, live longer and have lower mortality rates than single or divorced women. And when you dig deeper, looking at analyses that track thousands of women over more than 20 years, another important detail emerges. Women without a partner face greater financial pressure and higher medical costs as they age, especially when health issues arise. In the end, the narrative that being alone is always better may sound good on social media, but when the years pass and economic and health realities set in, the data tells a different story. In short, the wall doesn't forgive.
I love it when men tell us how women do benefit from marriage. It's interesting what they're describing. Wes right here is saying easy. Free room and board, free food, free lights. Adds up thousands of dollars in a year's time. There's nothing free about her labor. What she gets in the divorce is free. You're talking about a servant. You're talking about a servant that is not getting paid and should be grateful that they have a roof over their head. However, she has to earn her keep. And also, she gets that free room and board by earning it on her back. That is a servant. You're talking about a schmegs worker that isn't even getting paid. And she's also supposed to do it all with a smile, Wes. Looking at another human being and telling them that you provide them with free room and board makes it very clear that you see that human being as an animal. That
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
You rarely hear a man telling a woman she should be grateful for what he does for her, yet you constantly hear the opposite narrative. Unpaid labor. I gave my body and my time. I sacrificed my youth. In other words, everything a woman does within the relationship is framed as something that should be compensated. Why does a woman believe she should receive something for everything she does for a man? Now, the ironic part is that if you look at the 30 richest women in the world, half, or more than half, built their wealth through a divorce. Even when a woman works and earns as much as the man, she doesn't want to sign a prenuptial agreement where each person leaves with what they contributed. She also doesn't want arrangements where each parent is 50-50 with the child and she receives no child support. This isn't about a lack of equality. This is about feeling entitled to receive no matter the situation. Men have come to understand that marriage is a contract that mainly benefits women. If you want equality in everything, then a non-marital partnership would make more sense, but that's not appealing either. Ironic, isn't it? We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. Do you have a female family member who never got married? How is she doing in life? Do you think marriage benefits women? Yes or no? If you liked the video, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Your support means a lot to us and motivates us to keep creating more content. Stay tuned for the next video from the wall.